Thank you to all you guys who have shown up this week. I know I forgot I should have mentioned because last week was canceled. I was working that we are back on for this week and for the foreseeable future. I can't guarantee we'll be doing it every week, but I mean I've got my work schedule usually 2 weeks in advance, so I'll try to take it off the calendar and make an announcement anytime it will be canceled. But we're finally back for another Fireside Chat. As far as news, let's see here. I kind of have to get back in the zone just because I missed a week, so it's a little weird. I know I can talk about the Scribes Guild a little bit. I guess I didn't really make an official announcement to the rest of the clan. I just talked to Pato and Rod when they joined the Scribes Guild, and welcome to both of you once again to the guild. I'm glad you applied because we are honestly still in need of people. Anyone who is interested in joining the Scribes Guild would use them. And honestly, I don't want to say like if you hate writing, you should still join. That's not really true. But a lot of the stuff, like one of the things that we're going to start to do is the Uko Codex stuff, which is so all that's on the forums, and it's also on Uko the bot on Discord, and updating all the entries, especially the member entries, creating them for people who don't have them, and getting them up to date for all the other people who already do, because a lot of them are out of date, is like a big chore. And Pato actually came up with a new kind of streamlined format that kind of lists that I really like. It has like a I'd have to alt tab and find it here, but it has like name, titles, ranks held, date joined, etc. All the information, and then like a bio after that. And it's really cool. So that's going to be a ton of work, and honestly, it's not something where you necessarily have to be like a genius of creative writing to do. It's just a lot of time. I mean, it was a lot of time to create all the entries thus far. It's going to take more time to update them and everything, but it is cool to get up to date, and I think cool to have that whole encyclopedia of WA knowledge.
The end goal would be to not if you want to research a member, it shouldn't be a chore like it is now by Control F on the forums.
Yeah, very true, exactly. And I mean, I think it's cool for honestly, it would be nice. Like the old thing was like, oh, Berserker Up gets entry, but it would be nice to even have new members get like a little entry there, just because I think it's one of the things where it's cool that you're like, oh, hey, I'm in the encyclopedia, even if you just join. It's like, oh, that's nice. I mean, that might be too ambitious because it's gonna take a lot to do that, but it would be cool. But yeah, we are still accepting members for the Scribes Guild. I believe there's still some announcements there, but the standard thing is I just need to see some sort of writing from you, like a poems or a short story or essay or something. WA related is cool, but it doesn't have to be WA related. Just something you did, and yeah, and then you can join. And I would really like, I don't want to put like a cap on the number of people I would allow, but I would definitely like more than the 3 we have right now. I think it would be really nice to have 5 or 6. I feel like we could get some stuff done then, because a lot of us are officers, or we have real life stuff too, or whatever, and we're pretty busy. And I don't expect that any of us are going to be able to soak in a huge amount of time and effort to everything. So the more people we have, the more total amount of work we can get done. But yeah, hopefully we'll be able to make some progress in some of the stuff. There's a couple other things we're working on. And I need to make an announcement for this, but creating character descriptions for people for the like use in like WA lore and stories and stuff like that was something Pat I want to do. I think it's a great idea. And you can kind of see all of this stuff with Unsfavored and with Outriders and stuff. And that's on the forums as well. As kind of a prototype for that, and we thought it'd be cool to bring it to the other warbands too. So if you would like to have any kind of input or give us any help in how you would like yourself to be seen in the world of WA and the stories and everything like that, message us. I might make a forum thread or something where you can do it, or some other venue. But yeah, for sure, just find some way to let me or Pato or Rod know we're on the Scribes Guild, and that's something we wanted to do. And a couple other things, like we're going to, I mean, write some more stories for the new edit is something I want to do, but there's a lot of other stuff to do too. And also writing, like Pato was talking about when he did his Ragnarok presentation, that it would be cool to have like long form entries, like more than just like an Uko encyclopedia entry, but like sort of big, I called them treatises, but like big treatments of like significant events in WA history, like the Ragnarok, or even something like an era, like a Third Fleet era document, something that just lists all the information we have or we can find on something. And it might be pretty long, but at least you only have to look at one source instead of combing through 100 different subforums and 1,000 different forum threads to try to find out what happened, which is kind of what you have to do right now. So that's another thing we want to do. So it's kind of a lot of stuff on the plate. So as you can see, we can definitely use more people to help out with it. Anyone who is interested. Other than that, I don't know that we have a lot of events coming up outside of Yule. Yule is tomorrow. I know we've got the secret Odin. I think we're hoping to meet up in voice and talk about that. Like all open presents together and stuff. I might be working, so I'm gonna have to miss it, but hopefully that will be fun. Other than that, I don't know too much else anybody has planned. There's some surprises people have in store. I'll probably bring out the Storytime channel. We can reminisce a little bit, I guess. It'll be something. But
Hey Vest,
yeah.
just because Yule is tomorrow, and I just want to bring it up. It's an idea I had. Maybe post up a new channel, temporary, like we did with the Halloween one. But give access to everybody. Where we can post up pictures of our gifts and figure out who was who's secret Odin.
That would see that'd be great for me because I mean I'll have my phone at work at least. I can check it out.
Yeah, you could at least see it, but like while we're all in voice chat, and we'll post up pictures, and then we could probably record some of what happens for an archive post or something on the forum.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Actually, I'll do that after Fireside. Let me write down it. Let's see.
I hope that's okay, Route. I don't mean to hijack
Yeah,
your
no,
your thing.
that's completely fine. I really like that idea. Also, just a reminder that we are meeting at 10 p.m. EST in a channel.
Oh,
so
I
that's
might
time.
actually be back.
Is we try to make it after people's typical work days and at least give Pacific time people enough time to eat dinner. So
I'll be yeah. Let's see. So that's you said 10 EST or 11?
10 EST.
Let's see. That's 8 p.m. Yeah, I should be home, or like I'll be like a couple minutes late or something. I should actually be here. Awesome.
Good.
Woohoo. Well, it'll be fun. Yeah, I can't actually think of any other events. Sometimes we do like a Yule tournament or something like that, but I haven't had a chance to put anything like that together. But let's have some stuff going on anyway. Maybe Solette has some like spur of the moment thing, like with the festival, with the oh, what was it? It was like a coin flipping tournament or something.
That was actually just one day.
Yeah, well, maybe we can find something else like that. We'll see. Well, yeah, I guess that's kind of what's on the table this month. I didn't miss any birthdays. Ricky's birthday was a few days ago, so happy belated birthday to Ricky. I think we posted. A few people pinged him or something. I can't quite remember.
Yep, it was the 10th.
Cool, cool. Ormodor's birthday was actually on the 6th, too. I can't remember if we let him know, but if not, or if we did, happy super belated birthday to Ormodor. We had Fireside on the 6th, didn't we? So I would have said something about it, I think, at that Fireside. But yeah, I think that's about all we have planned for December. So I'll just throw it out. Anybody have any announcements? Anything they want to talk about? Anything?
I was talking to about Podamania about the character descriptions for the Scribes Guild. One thing that I did for the Dane's stories I'm writing was create a general model character description in a Google form, and it might be easy or easier if you create a very simple form to pass out to people that you want characters from, so you can get a very base description of what their character is.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna do for Friggs myself.
Yeah, that seems like a great idea. Make it easy. It's probably easier to fill out a form, because a lot of people are probably kind of daunted by just the open-ended question, "What's your character?" Like, well, he has a sword. Or you don't
Roll
really
for
know.
initiation.
But yeah, I think that's a great idea. Cool, cool.
Also, for all of you Nintendo Switch and Super Smash Bros. Players, tournament signups are available for the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Tournament.
Oh, are
It'll
we
be
doing one?
Yes, I have posted the link to the registration in the announcements. The tournament will be happening on Tuesday, January 1st.
Why is
So,
it a Wardane tournament though?
because that's the organization who will be hosting it.
Oh yeah,
I
because
thought that
you guys
was
did like what Brawlhalla before, right? One or two
Oh, I
of them.
thought that was a House Dane thing. My bad.
No, it's just called the Wardane. Sounded cool to me, and it's
Okay.
also a play on war games. Also, it's open to everybody, not just WA members as well. I left the brackets open so that as many people could join as possible. And as I also said, it'll be happening on Tuesday, at 6 p.m. And it will be some of the matches will be live streamed to my Twitch channel. Um, so I'll have all that set up for anyone who wants to watch the Smash tournament. And this will be the first tournament, so there will be no prizings. But I am considering that if this tournament does see some participation, a decent amount, the following tournaments posted will have prizes in the form of cold hard cash. No, through PayPal.
Thanks.
For so do your part in participation to get more tournaments and to get more lucrative rewards.
I'm sorry that I'm
Okay.
with my family on the first.
Sorry, I don't have the game. This sounds fun.
I don't
Yeah.
have the game yet.
I'm getting a Switch, but am not going to get Super Smash Bros. Just yet, unfortunately. But I'll try to
feel
watch
like
if
if I
I don't
get
have
it-
work.
Gotta get that Legend of Zelda playthrough done first.
Is that what
Yes.
you're doing?
I feel like if I buy
That's
Smash Bros.
Always
Oh,
the first thing you should get with a Switch is Breath of the Wild.
then you should finish it first before buying a new game.
No, I got Super
All right,
Smash
don't
Bros.
attack me like that, okay?
Get Mario Kart first.
What do you
Vest, is that
mean?
what you're doing?
Wrong.
Zelda first. Vest, is that what you're doing? Doing Zelda first?
Me? No, I'm not. I'm not getting Breath of the Wild actually.
Oh, well, what are
I'm
you
getting the
doing
Breath of the
first?
Wild Switch case. Does that give me like a third of the credit? It's a third of the price.
No.
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 That gives you
No.
that gives you some points.
No,
gives you, like,
what
like-
do you-
You get like a 1%.
What if I told you I
So-
have no intention of ever buying the game?
Oh,
Okay, you
that's,
just lost it all.
That's kind of disgusting.
I thought
Well,
it
that's a
came with the game.
mistake.
Oh, wait, wait.
Exactly.
Did someone say coup?
That's where's Kuzia?
You're becoming part
hey,
of the
hey, I didn't.
problem.
What if I never even got a Switch? Then I wouldn't even be close.
In fact, Best, I hope Odin smites you where you stand.
Ha,
Ooh.
bring it on.
What if
I'm an
somebody-
honor
what if-
yar. I
wait,
can
wait, wait.
compete. He's getting
What if
old.
somebody big-brained? What if someone big-brained Vest knew he was gonna get a Switch and got him Smash
Hey,
Bros?
not
for-
not all of us
Secret
want to
Odin.
be Zelda and swing around the Master Sword.
I would feel pretty bad because that's quite a bit more than
Brand,
the
that's not
baseline for
Zelda,
the
that's Link,
gifts.
you idiot.
Why get the Zelda Breath of the Wild case, but not the game?
Because it
He likes
looks
the chic
really good.
design.
Oh wait. So I've got to ask a question. Answer this carefully. So why are you buying a Switch?
For other games that I like,
Pokemon.
Like
Super
what?
Mario Odyssey.
I'm getting Dark Souls remastered. I'm getting Hyrule Warriors.
Oh,
Nice.
okay.
You're getting Hyrule
okay.
Warriors, but
Whew.
not.
Yeah, I like the characters from Zelda, and I like Warriors. I'm a huge Warriors fan. I have like every game
Yeah, me
Tecmo
too,
Koei has
dude.
ever made.
I
So-
wish it had online co-op because then I'd be like, "Hey, let's play it."
I would, yes, that would be nice, but I'm also not buying Nintendo Online just yet. I'm probably gonna have to get it at some point. But the 2 games I'm getting, it's
Wait,
not
wait, hold up.
required.
Nintendo did an online thing. You have to pay for it now.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah,
it's
It's only
$20.
$20 a year.
Yeah,
it
it's
is a
pretty-
good deal. I'll give him that. I'm
It
just
is
not gonna
cheaper
get
than
it.
PlayStation and Xbox.
It is.
Oh
Are
well,
you
I
Get
gonna
NES
get,
games.
Are you gonna get Fire Emblem Warriors as well?
I really wanted to, but one of my favorite Fire Emblem characters is Roy, and he's not in. I think it got some criticism
I
too.
know.
he is an ultimate.
I know, but I think even though Fire Emblem Warriors got some bad reviews, I would just buy it if it had Roy, and it doesn't, so I can't do it.
I'm more of a Chrome guy.
I
Chrome.
mean, you should
He is cool, he's
still
cool.
get it just because, honestly, gameplay-wise, it's probably the best Warriors game. Like, it doesn't have a cool
On Switch, you
Empires
mean?
mode. No, just in general. Like, I've played all of the recent Warriors games, and I think Fire Emblem Warriors is the best gameplay-wise.
Dynasty Warriors 4 will always be my favorite Warriors from my childhood.
Really?
But yeah.
I mean, I loved it.
The guy
as
who
a
voices
kid
Chrome's
too,
also in that.
But I feel like it's gotten better over the years, except Dynasty Warriors 9. That's
That was a train wreck.
that's not a thing. I'm pretending it doesn't exist.
Name a multiplayer game that hasn't been a train wreck this year.
This year,
True.
Smash.
Well, wait.
Smash
Yeah,
Bros.
Smash came out in December. What
No,
else?
Nah, online
Nintendo
still a
came in
train
at the
wreck.
last second to try to
No.
salvage
The
the year.
online is a train wreck.
Oh, okay,
no,
well, there
no
you go.
way.
Oh, I guess that's true. Online's a little messy.
Well, apologies to 50 Storms and Vinny. I just saw you guys were in chat. I had a bunch of tabs open on the forums. I was looking through while we were talking about it, but yeah, Vinny, I just saw your message about the entries. The one thing for the Uko Codex entries is we are going to have the information at the top, but they'll still have an entry below that, like it'll just list like some basic stuff so that like it'll list like name, rank, recruiter, etc. And then below that is going to be the full entry, like a paragraph or two or whatever it is that lists all the information. So it'll still be an entry, but you'll just have like the really specific detailed information, or detailed information is the right way to put it. Like the quick facts, maybe you could call it, about a member will be at the top. So in case there's just some specific info you needed, it's right there, and then the long form info.
Important stuff like titles, lordships, earlships, recruitment date, who recruited them, the things that you would like sometimes do research for and want to find pretty quick, are going to be right there. And then there's the description that Vest usually would have in his Uko entries.
Yeah, and I know with new members, there might be a worry that because they have barely been in WA, there won't be a lot to put in your entry. But I think if we're going to go through the trouble of making an entry for a new member, we could probably find some stuff like, oh, they played with this member for a while, and we could at least get a little bit of stuff for an entry, just so there's something there, so they feel like it is more than just a template, a form filled out for them. If we do have time to make it for brand new members, which honestly, from past experience, it just might not happen, but certainly try and hope. Especially if we get more people in the Scribes Guild.
I mean, I'm of the opinion that it should work smarter, not harder, and if they want to do it themselves, we should definitely encourage that, and then we can edit it as needed.
Yeah, and that's another thing is anybody can write an entry for the Uko Codex, and that just makes it easier. So if people, say somebody's like, oh, my entry's out of date, you can just go into it and just fix it and just copy and paste, ping one of us in the Shrine of Uko channel or message us or something like that. Even that makes it a lot easier. And
if we're going to go through with the template idea, it'd be easy to just take the template. If a member wants their Uko entry updated, we give them the template. They fill out all the required information, and the description, we could just write it ourselves, or they could give us suggestions. It'd be super easy. Like they would, as their own person, they would know most of their information. It's probably in their roll call, anyways. Like a lot of the info is in the roll call.
It's true. Yeah. And I'll probably post the template on the forums and link to that when I announce it. I'll write down to make sure I do that. Okay. But yeah, that'll be available, so it'll hopefully be. Or I guess announce. Yeah, so we'll have. I should announce the Uko codex entry template, but also for character descriptions too is another thing. But yeah, actually gotten 20 minutes out of this one so far. Like I was talking to Pato and Rand before the stream started, I think it was, that we only have a formal presentation like we normally do at the end of it, but I always have a few things I could talk about as a backup. So I'll probably just jump to one of those for a little bit. But before we do that, any closing thoughts or anything else, questions can answer, announcements?
Oh, go ahead, Rocker.
No, go ahead. I'm good. I'm focused on something else real fast, so go ahead.
All right. Shout out to Eldholm for hosting Anime Net. It's a new event. He hosts it on Tuesdays in the evenings. So far the time has changed a couple times, but after the holidays, he's going to be picking it back up. We've been watching
Cowboy Bebop.
Cowboy Bebop thing. And it's been a lot of fun for any of the weebs in the channel. So yeah, shout out on that. Along with that, Warframe Night's been going strong. Monster Hunter's been going strong. All of that's going to keep going after the holidays as well. And just wanted to bring up another idea vest because I'm full of them. Do we have anything planned for New Year?
No, not that I know of.
Then in this case, again, maybe make a channel for New Year, like on New Year's Day or something, where people can put up their what do you call them? The
New Year's resolutions.
New Year's resolutions, but try to make them WA related. Like, what do they want to do this year with WA or gaming in general? Gaming in general, whatever. Related to us. We don't want to know that you're trying to lose 15 pounds, but we do want to know if you want to recruit people or that you want to beat a big boss at the end of a game. That'd be cool.
There you go. That's a great idea. Yeah, I wrote that down. Let's do it.
I want to become the Wizard King.
You really don't want to know about my weight loss goals?
Y'all don't want to know about my obsession with wanting to be like Chris Hemsworth?
I mean, you could probably share it. We'd probably support you. What do I know?
You know what? Like, I'm just saying in general, it'd be cool to hear what people have to say. I'm thinking more WA and gaming related, but if you want to share what you want to do in real life, I'm sure we'd be happy to hear it. We'd probably give you a couple of random emotes.
I'm mostly just messing with you.
I know.
Quick shout out to anyone watching this stream. I have like 12% dropped frames. I'm not sure why, but I'm sure that's like the stream is not excellent quality because of that. So apologies. I'm not sure why. I'll probably look at some settings and see if there's anything wrong on my end I can fix. But yeah. All right. Well, yeah, we'll do that. Ruki, did you have something you wanted to talk about?
Oh, so I was looking at this the Steam winter sale. Uno right now is $3. So if we want
Which one?
Uno.
Oh. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Uno with a
So-
side of salt.
Okay. It's $3.
Yeah. So we can definitely look at doing something Mimi with that.
That could be
That'd
fun.
be me.
Uno is serious business.
Uno
It's
is
Why
just
don't,
extremely
we, why don't we
competitive.
play some Pokemon Go Fish on Tabletop Simulator?
Oh my god.
Wait, you're actually next level.
That's my favorite game.
Well, yeah, I guess so I had a couple of different topics to choose from, like I said, to talk about in place of a presentation. So I'll throw out one more time. Any final thoughts from anybody? Okay. Well, so I had a few different things that I had prepared quite a while back. So I had, let's see here. So
Be right
I
back.
had Volley's Elites was one thing I thought I could talk about. Another option would be I called it the Kusiag episode in my nights or in my notes, but it was the deal with Kusiag, his reapplying to join the White Knights of Houstipity again, being declined. There's sort of some interesting drama and stuff about that. And then lastly, the White Knight revival, which took place in 2017, some stuff like that. And so some of these are there's like a little bit of info on the forums about them. But yeah, those are my main three. Anybody want to request a specific one, or else I can just pick one?
I think we should do Kuziak because he's still here, and it's a good story.
All right, so that's a good one. That's probably the one I have the most notes about actually. So that's a good one. So this was an interesting one. I guess some backstory for those who don't know. Kusiag was banned from WA. It was exiled, actually. And this would have been. He was banned around. I didn't write down the date. It would have been Second Empire era, like early Second Empire. So probably 2011. No, this would have been. Well, he was probably exiled 2011. And he was allowed back into the clan later. There's some stuff. So Kusiak played Eve a lot with Kilroy. So a lot of the guys in our Eve Online division, Jotunheimer Productions Limited, were friends with Kusiak. He was like a huge, figure in that regard. So he kind of had some connections, you might say, and most of them were pretty sympathetic to his cause. You know, a lot of people at the time were pretty mad about what happened to Kusiak because basically. There's this whole, that was all the anti-Moscow militia, if you might have heard of it. If you kind of want to know what resulted in Kusiak being exiled, the famous Houstipity and later Houstane member Asgrima, a.k.a. Hvitzel, a.k.a. WA Light, being exiled, D1515C0C, that dude. I'm pretty sure that's his name. I remember all the numbers and letters, but he was exiled. A few other people left or were banned. That whole thing was the whole anti-Moscow militia was the reason for that. So there's some UCO entries on that and some info about that on the forums too. But basically, and there's a lot about that, about who was at fault or different perspectives. But anyway, the main point is Kusiag was exiled as a result of that. But through talking to some of his buddies in House Kilroy and through the EVE Online division, and he was able to reach Dane again and talk to him. And through all that, he was eventually allowed back in with the shame name Aldminer or Old Disease. In English, it was Old Norse for that. And so he was allowed back in. But as Kusiag was exiled, and he was a White Knight of Houstipity at the time when he was involved in the anti-Moscow militia, he was ejected from the White Knights as well. The first time anyone was ever kicked out of the White Knights. So that was kind of a big deal because, being a knight was a pretty special thing. So the idea that he would be exiled and all this stuff was like oh, shame to the order. There was a big thing where we had to write all the White Knights of Houstipity were forced by Dane to put in our signatures where there is shame there is redemption, never again. And then the day Kusiak was exiled, and it was a really big deal. But eventually Kusiak was let back into WA, but not the White Knights right away. So it was approximately, I believe, a year. I want to say it was about a year, maybe slightly less, after Kusiag was exiled, and he had been back in the clan for quite a long time, that Dane said, okay, I permit Kusiag to reapply to the White Knights, be readmitted, etc., etc. At this time, I was Lord of Houstipity, and it's probably worth throwing out, this was like one of my first leadership positions in WA. I still felt like I was fairly young. At the very least, I was very inexperienced as a leader. I didn't really know what I was doing at all, but I mean, of course, it was cool. As someone who's like, oh, you want to be Lord of Houstipity? I wasn't going to be like, no, I don't know how to do that. I was like, yeah, sure. So I did that. Most of my officer positions in WA had been leading like rough platoons, like fringe groups and stuff, like Valley's Elites, which was on a browser-based game called The West. So it was often being in charge of platoons where there was only like 5 people in them or something like that, maybe 10 people. Which I don't want to say is easy. It's actually really hard to build a division out of a platoon, but the actual leadership aspect of it with just a few people is something more manageable, I think, to somebody who didn't have any leadership experience, because you just kind of play with them. That's really all you have to do. You just play with people and maybe try to look for recruits, and that's kind of all you really have to do. I mean, there's a little bit of paperwork, like situation reports that you had to write, but it wasn't so much responsibility. But being Lord of Houstipity was definitely a whole nother animal. And yeah, so anyway, I wound up being Lord of Hastipity. I succeeded Ingivar, who was a Varling descended from Puck the Vigilant, who was the previous Lord of Hastipity. Ingivar, the Legion Crusher, who was the next Lord, and Ingivar passed it on to me. And it was kind of unique that I was Lord because the Lightlings, the last time a Lightling was Lord of Hastipity was Adreki, who's the most famous WA story of all time. The Saga of Hastipity is all about how terrible Adreki was as Lord, how he betrayed everything, started a massive rebellion. He was just awful, and Eowyn, his only recruit who stuck around, basically did the exact same thing. So the Lightlings, especially to Dane and to most higher up members of WA, were viewed as like a really bad bunch who could not be trusted with anything. Now, by this point, Lightlings were officers in the clan and stuff, but the idea of a Lightling becoming Lord of Hastipity was pretty crazy. But finally, the Lightlings became the Golden Line of Hastipity again. I was Lord of Hastipity. And that's when Dane said Kusiag is allowed to apply to become a White Knight again. So, of course, Kusiag did apply because he wanted to join. And so I'm kind of, at this point, I was super into the White Knights and the kind of mythology and stuff around it and stuff. And how you swore an oath to join them and everything. It was very important. The honor of it was very important. So to me, even though I was really good friends with Kusiag and was not really convinced that he did, like personally, I was not convinced that he really did anything wrong during the anti-Moscow militia. But to me, the decision to make was not, oh, do I like Kusiag? It was, would letting him back in, like, betray the oaths we took or something, betray the honor and how I was sacred the institution of the White Knights were to me. And my personal feeling was, well, yeah, regardless of whether I think he did anything wrong, Dane and the leadership of WA exiled him and thought he did something wrong. So that's sort of a mark on his honor, and so he shouldn't be allowed back in. So that was my feeling on it. Would I make the same decision today? No. But that was how I felt anyway, explaining my thinking on it. But I didn't just want to straight up refuse him because, like I said, I was really new to leadership. So the thing I thought was I talked to all the other White Knights. Some people you might know, like Eodor was a White Knight, Ulfwald White Knight, Rookie Lighter. Although at that time, I don't remember Rookie Lighter being super involved with it. He may have been on LOA or he may have been taking a break or something like that. I don't think he was involved in that decision too much. But I decided to hold a vote to kind of rely on all my comrades for that. And the vote was extremely close. I remember, I don't necessarily want to betray who voted what because I think they may still have never actually told anybody. So I'll keep that a secret. But suffice to say that letting Kusiak back in won. I believe the vote was 4-3 in favor of letting Kusiak back in. And at that point, so it's kind of like, okay, well, I got to let him back in because I did the vote. And what I wound up doing was, and this actually become a meme, especially among Kusiak, anytime I have a vote on something, he brings this up. I denied the vote. I said, no, Kusiak's not being let back in. Which, I mean, it's a lame thing to do. And like I said, I think I was not that great of a leader at the time. But, my gut instinct said, no, can't let him back in. Even though I did the vote because I didn't really have the courage to make the decision on my own. I wanted to help everybody else. But, yeah, I decided to deny him. So I did that. And, suffice to say, it made a lot of the White Knights pretty mad, especially the ones that voted for him to be let back in. And so that was kind of a problem. And then the little cherry on top was that there was a thread on our secret White Knight forums, which were on another website, where people were arguing in favor of Kusiak being let back in and all that stuff. And basically, there was a lot of heated words said in that. And eventually, I locked the thread because I said, this is the decision I'm making. And Ingivar comes back, the previous lord, and basically just yells at me saying that we're a democracy and that free speech cannot be restricted and I am not allowed to close threads. Which I think that did not make... I still don't think that makes much sense. But it doesn't mean that I was not in the wrong either. But anyway, that's what happened. And basically after all that, I felt really bad. I felt like I'd made a wrong decision, like I'd made a mistake. I felt bad for Kusiak because I was still friends with him. I still liked him. I still really respected him. I just felt like it was just based on, the fact that he did something wrong and he was kicked from the exile from the clan meant that he couldn't be a knight, at least not at that point just yet. So that was when I kind of took a long LOA from WA as a result of that because I was sort of like, felt like I was not a good leader and I didn't really know what I was doing. And yeah, it was just, it seemed like a lot to handle, I guess, at that point, because I was just kind of thrust into this like very gray area morally and not really knowing what to do. And yeah, so that's kind of what happened. And I think that's most of the background I could provide on it. But suffice to say, Kusiag was never let back into the White Knights. Even after that, Eudor would become the subsequent lord because I was kind of missing in action, took an LOA, and eventually I came back and became lord again, and I'm still lord. But yeah, I did, however, I don't want to say I like reversed the decision because it's kind of hard to do that now, but I gave Kusiag the mark of the White Knight and basically view him as just having been a White Knight, same as all of the rest of us, regardless, because my current decision is, yeah, I mean, he deserved it. But it's kind of tough because at that point, I was Lord of House Stippity, but not that high ranking of an officer in WA. I didn't really have a lot of the information on the anti-Moscow militia or what Kusiag did or didn't do. I just was told he did something wrong by leadership. So, you know, now with all the insight and all the hindsight and everything like that, I'd make a different decision. But that is what happened. So it's definitely, I think it's a really interesting little piece of WA history and piece, maybe a lesson for anybody leading something in WA. I know I learned from it as well on how that kind of works and what you can do right and wrong and all that. Geez, I think I've been talking for about 15 minutes here. I don't remember how long Pados was. Hopefully I didn't bore anybody too much, but that's about it.
Woo! That was interesting. I liked it.
Clappa.
I don't know that there's a real good thread just on that, so that could be something I might try to write one of those long form entries on.
You'd be the right person to write it.
Yeah. I mean, I could honestly talk about it more. Like, there's a few, I don't know if you know, there's a few tangents I started to go on where I was like, okay, no, this is not related enough. Yeah.
I'd like to point out Alda's the only person that doesn't start with an S right in his name.
Oh, yeah, well,
Dabs.
the not WA is kind of cheating, but yeah.
Dabs with legs.
Wait, what?
I'm special.
It's the only non-S.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I can
I
change
vote
that
we
real
exile
quick.
Ildham.
Hang on, wait, I can fix this.
Just don't say the
Oh
word
my
vote around
goodness.
Kusiag because you'll trigger his PTSD.
I'm not doing it. Oh, I have the incident reports. Alright, I'm about to do an incident report
I
on Ildham
remember
real fast.
talking about vote.
There we go. I
He
fixed
put
it.
did somebody fix it? Did he do that or?
Oh, I did that.
Oh, okay. You did it. All right. I wasn't sure if somebody else edited your name, and I'd be like, oh, jeez.
I can change it for him. Wait, no, I can't. I can't change it for him. You're lucky.
It's okay.
I wouldn't abuse it. I promise.
You joined the
Lies.
S horde. Well, yeah, that was one of my prepared topics. So hopefully that was interesting. Anybody who didn't see it, I don't know. I might post an announcements. Or no, I'll try to upload these to YouTube. I know I used to try to upload the firesides every week, but it would take like a few hours to upload them for some reason. The upload was just so bad, and I got behind, and now I'm just like inescapably behind in uploading them. I don't know when the last one was uploaded. It was probably like 6 or 9 months ago or something. It's pretty sad, but maybe I'll try to upload these now that we have just these last few, just because we have the presentations at the end. I think maybe something that's kind of cool where somebody can be like maybe if somebody is trying to research something, they can say they can find the Fireside video from that and oh, somebody did a presentation on this. I can just listen to that. That'd be cool.
Yes, very cool.
Rand, we can hear you eating.
I like it. Please continue though.
Please continue the
Fire
ASMR.
chat ASMR.
Vultures make the best fruit snacks.
He's not wrong.
So what did I miss? I had to go FK for a bit. I think
Wait a
I
minute.
missed a lesson.
Pedo, I have Nitro now. I can show you the thing I made.
Oh, possibly you missed my my long story / rant about the Kusiag debacle. I don't know what it should be called, but yeah.
Oh boy, I'm guessing it's the whole matter of his original or almost exile, or whatever it was.
I like
Sort
how
of. So
you're-
he was exiled, then let back into WA, but wasn't allowed to join the White Knights of Fastipity for quite a while after he rejoined. But eventually Dane
that's
said he
right.
could, so he applied to rejoin, and basically I stopped it. And there's some, drama and everything about that. But.
I like how your presentation that would be 15 minutes. His would probably be 2 weeks.
he,
He
could,
could talk
Probably.
forever.
he could talk about it for. I mean, and he's got probably some other things to say. I mean, I'm just giving my perspective on it. Like obviously he didn't agree with that decision at the time, but yeah. And I think it was kind of cool to know now, just because now whenever there's decisions made, I sort of have that perspective to say, like, to try to make sure that, like, everyone in the clan kind of knows, like, what's going on behind the scenes as much as possible. Like, some stuff you have to keep, confidential, I guess. Like, you don't want to just, like, send everybody people's, private information or whatever. But, like, at the time, I didn't really know anything about what happened with the Kusiak situation. It was just what I was told by leadership. So, that's something where I wouldn't mind trying to avoid putting, other officers or whatever in the clan in that position where they have to make decisions without actually knowing all the information. Not to say that I was, like, completely off the hook, like, oh, I didn't know what happened, I still, did that, but yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we'll probably end Fireside Chat with that then, unless anybody has any closing thoughts. Cool.
Everybody buy Uno.
Okay. Well, yeah, thank you for showing up. Sorry again about the stream quality. Maybe the VOD will be better. Worst comes to worst, I'll upload to YouTube, and that will, at least that's using the recording on my computer, so they won't have any lag from the internet or anything like that. But yeah, we will have Fireside next week, I believe, at the same time. If not, I'll be sure to make an announcement.